Hi guys, and welcome to another session of Honest Talk About Women, where you'll learn tips, tricks and strategies on how to navigate the minefields of dating and relationships. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also comment in the comment section. It all helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you have a story you want to share with viewers, you can contact me on my email address listed below. This session is about helping your daughter or son get onto the property ladder and help them financially to buy a house. Just to start with, I'm not giving financial, legal, or accounting advice. I'm just speculating what could possibly happen. And prenup and property sharing agreement are used interchangeably, so it means the same thing. Okay, so you have a daughter or a son, whatever, wants to buy a house and get on the property ladder, but it's a lot tougher today than it was 30, 40 years ago. The ratio of income to buying a property back 40 years ago was 3 to 1. That means 3 times income would buy your property. Now it's 9 times 1, so you're going to earn 9 times income, average income that is, to buy an average property, 9 to 1. So it's a hell of a lot tougher today than it was 30, 40 years ago, and partly because the reasons of that is government interference with the marketplace. There's a lot of regulations in place in terms of housing, and also council bylaws make it very restrictive on what you can and cannot do, and also the Building Act can be quite restrictive on how to construct a house. But also the government's to blame partly because through quantitative easing. So quantitative easing is basically printing money, and the governments in the last 20 or 30 years, in fact governments since World War II, have been using quantitative easing quite significantly during the global financial crisis of 2008 to 2012, and also the COVID crisis that hit in 2020 to 2022, 2023. It's where the government printed a huge amount of money, and when they print it faster than population growth or GDP growth, they can have inflationary effects, and those with assets usually benefit the most. Their prices go up. But anyway, this is not an economics lesson. This is about relationships. So your daughter, for argument's sake, wants to buy a house, and you want to help her get onto the property ladder. And throughout your life, you've made a bit of money, and it's now time to help your daughter or your son get into a house. So your daughter comes to you, I want to buy a house, and usual story, if you just buy her a house, people don't look after it. So you want her to put money in and you match it dollar for dollar. But if you do that, that basically is a gift to her, and you've got to work out whether there is gifting laws in your local country where you get taxed on that. But in New Zealand, there isn't any gifting laws, gifting tax here, so that can happen. If you give her a dollar for dollar to her new house, and she gets into a relationship down the track with a person, and it's an established relationship under relationship law, then that person can get half the house and any capital gain in the house down the track, because it's considered commingled joint property. So you need to explain to your daughter that yes, you can buy a house, yes, dad can help you, but should you get into a relationship down the track, then you'll need to get into a property sharing agreement that establishes your assets, his assets, your liabilities, his liabilities, credit card debt, student loans, whole works, and basically it's a ledger statement as to who has what at a certain date. Going forward, should it unravel, then it's a lot easier to walk away with an understanding of what the parties went into at the start. But anyway, that's all good and fine, but you can go one step further, and this is quite common in New Zealand, where instead of just matching her dollar for dollar or making a financial contribution to a house purchase, you actually loan her the money. So you draw up a commercial agreement, you have first mortgage on the house, and should she have to dissolve the house because of a relationship issue, then you can get your money back, and it's secured against the house. So that's one way to protect your money instead of seeing it 50% disappearing. Because for argument's sake, if you put $500,000 into her house, and later down the track she met a guy and they became a couple under the relationship definition, and then that fizzled out, then he would get half that 500,000 plus the capital gain on the house. So you got to be a bit more savvy on how you configure it. So if you draw up a commercial loan, then there's no chance of her partner getting half of that money plus half the capital gain. Another option is to put the house in a company structure or a trust structure, or in your name, so that and she pays you rent, and as she pays you rent, it's paying off the debt that is incurred to you, and eventually when she her rent payments cover the full capital cost of that house, then the title can transfer to her. So that's another way to protect you, and that's becoming quite common in New Zealand, where we have a lot of people who have made a bit of money. They want to get their kids on the property ladder, but they don't want to see half their money disappear after 2 years through a relationship split. So the house stays in your name, or in a company's name, or in a trust. Again, you're going to have to get specialist tax advice, legal advice, accounting advice on how to structure that best, depending on the laws that where you live. So that's it for today, guys. It's just that sometimes people go through life working very hard, building up a bit of money, come to retire, their kids want to get on the property ladder, they come to mum and dad for a loan or a contribution towards a house, and instead of doing it like the old days, just handing out money to get on the property ladder, make it a commercial loan, or purchase the house but put it into your name, into a trust or into a company that you have direct control over, so that if there is a relationship down the track and there is a splitting of the relationship, he doesn't get half the house with the capital gain. So just another option to protect you guys that have made a bit of money. They want to see your kids do well, but don't get the house 50% lost through a relationship split. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you got something out of it. Until next time, take care. If you need tips and tricks on relationships, do buy my Alpha Dating book on Amazon ebooks. I can be with you in seconds. It's very reasonably priced, and what you pay, you'll get more out of it from the benefits and from tips and tricks. Okay, until next time, take care.